So I have Alyssa and I were talking last week or earlier this week, just about business and just different things, and so that's why we decided to do this Zoom. I know we don't do them a lot, but just if there's something good to be said, I feel like it's good to share with you guys. So I'm just it was nice of Alyssa to give up some of her time because you guys all know she's super busy, and so the fact that she was able to give us some of her time for our team was pretty nice of her. So anyways, yeah, and I clicked record so that those of you that have team members that wanted to watch that couldn't get on will be able to look at it later. So
perfect. Okay, so first of all, I'm never too busy for this team. You guys are important to me, so don't feel like my time is any more special or whatever. But so what I'm hearing from a lot of people on my team in general right now is that either volume's low or their paycheck's not where they want to be. They're trying to get back into the swing of things or had a slow summer or whatever. And so what I've been really focusing on with people is signing up distributors, because if you guys can find a way to get into a consistent groove with signing distributors, fast starts alone can really boost y'all's check on your way to getting back your rank or waiting for volume to increase or whatever. Signing distributors is also the fastest way to get volume, because if someone goes out and signs 4 loyal customers, that's faster than you trying to do all that on your own. And every person that we sign knows at least 4 people that we don't. So I've kind of been experimenting with some different things to help people sign distributors. And what I did this week was I put a group of newish distributors in a group and just told them, for 2 weeks, I'm all yours. Like, we're going to work on signing distributors. And I've done something similar to this before, but there's a couple things that are similar in all of these groups. Reasons that people aren't signing distributors as much as they'd like to or as consistently as they'd like to. So I kind of took some notes down so I could share with you guys things that you guys might be doing that's keeping you from signing more distributors. And the very first thing is, and this is something that I had to change in my business this year too, because the company is very big on build relationships and don't be spammy. But I think what happened is that a lot of us also took that as wait until you're totally comfortable to reach out to someone. And that's honestly not going to get us anywhere, because if you have to wait until you're best friends with someone before you're going to offer them this opportunity, you are not going to move quickly enough. There's no way to build relationships with enough people all at once to move up. So the way I've been doing it is that I've been trying to message people before I feel totally comfortable. I just need to know a little bit about their personality. I need to be able to relate to them in some way. And I'm building the relationship as we're messaging about the business. So that's why I always talk to you guys about, message, be genuine, be thoughtful, find a reason they'd be good at the business. And then as you go along and you send them little bits, ask them questions about their life. Okay. That's why I always, I tell them why I joined or about the products, but then I ask them, do you have a full-time job, or what's your schedule like? Or, you're a stay-at-home mom. How many kids do you have? And I try to get to know them as we go through there. So, again, you've got to message people before you feel totally comfortable doing that. And I know that can seem kind of weird, but to me, it's easier to reach out to people I don't know super well than it is for me to reach out to people that I'm close with. And I know some people don't feel that way, but for me, I know if I reach out to someone that I don't have a great relationship with and they ignore me or they say no, I'm probably not even going to remember. It's not going to hurt my feelings. It's not going to be awkward when I see them, because chances are I don't ever see them. So something that I made this group do this week was make a list of 10 brand new people they had never reached out to about the business. And I can't see everyone on this Zoom, but I know a lot of you guys have been in quite a while. And if you had to make a list of 10 people today, a lot of you are going to put people on that list that you do not feel comfortable reaching out to, because most of the people you're comfortable with, you've already talked to. And so I had them make a list of 10 people. And once they did that, I had them in one sitting message all 10 of them. So for a lot of them, it took, 30, 45 minutes to make thoughtful messages for all of those people. But the reason that I've been doing it in groups of like 5 to 10 people, sounds like someone.
If you guys didn't mute yourselves, can you go ahead and mute yourself?
I just can't see where it's coming from, but it's not a huge deal. The reason that I had them create a list of 10 and message them all at once is because we know how many times people say no or we get ignored. And so by making the full list of 10 and messaging them all, if you can get one person to say, sure, send me more info, that makes you feel so much better for the 9 that didn't answer. And so instead of us sending out one every few days, why not compile a list now and message them all at once? Number one, as you message people, you'll feel a little bit more brave. You'll kind of get into a groove. And so for me, it's easier to just designate an hour to sit there and message a list of people than it is to just do it here and there in my free time. Because if I do that, I just never really get around to it. And so that's something that's been good for me. Obviously I do this full time now, but even with my full-time schedule when I had my store, I still think this would have been a better way to do it, because I'm much better if I block off an hour instead of trying to do stuff, throughout. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, and you guys probably have heard me say this earlier or recently, but we're validating people's excuses way too much. And what I mean by that is someone's telling us they're too busy or they don't have the money or they're not a salesperson, and we're not arguing with them at all about this. We're just saying, let me know if something changes, or, let me know, or thanks for getting back to me. And we're not telling them, hey, you can still do this. Like, I know you don't have the money, but let's figure out a way to get it. I know you're not a salesperson. I'm not either. Let's still talk about it. Because the problem is, if you say, let me know, you've just told them that they need to feel like a salesperson if they want to join. Or if they're saying they're too busy and you say, okay, well, let me know if something changes. Well, they're not going to get less busy, and you've just told them that they probably need to be less busy, so to let you know when that happens. So be really careful with how you respond to people's excuses, because we all get the same excuses. And I'm sorry if this is repetitive, because I said it on a recruiting Zoom recently, but that's something that I heard on a Zoom, and it just totally changed the way I deal with people. Because if you don't learn to deal with people's excuses, you're going to have a really hard time in this business signing distributors, because 9 times out of 10, when you message someone, don't they give you an excuse of some sort? I don't think it's for me. I'm too busy. I don't have the money. I'm not a salesperson. I've done something like that before and it didn't work. Like, almost every single person starts out as an excuse. I rarely message people and they're like, yes, absolutely, this is what I was made to do, sign me up. Like, that just doesn't happen. There is something, usually some sort of hesitation. So you guys need to learn how to handle that. And the best way to learn is to talk to Carolyn or talk to myself, or, message one of your uplines and say, hey, what do you normally say when someone says they're too busy? Because what I normally say is this, and it's not working. So ask for help. That's fine. Like, I've sent out about a bajillion messages in the last 5 years. So just ask. Any excuse that you probably ever encounter is one that I've already dealt with. Next thing is that we're stuck on the same list of potential distributors that we've had for a long time, and our potential list is getting stale, and we're just waiting for people to finally jump in. And while I never stop following up with someone that's been interested, I also never stop messaging new people. And to be totally honest, I'm having one of the best months that I've had all year. I think I've signed 7 distributors or 8 distributors in the last 30 days. And I can tell you that half of them are people that I've been following up with for, some of them, a couple of years. But about half of them are people that I've messaged in the last 30 to 60 days. So I would have not had near the month that I've had I not continued to message new people, even though I had a really long list of potentials. So at some point, you've got to keep reaching out to new people and keep adding to your potentials list, and they will come around. But if you feel like your list is stale and all of these people just keep putting it off and they keep not having the $99, you need to start a new list. Those people will come around eventually, but you're wasting time waiting on them. You've got places to go, and if they're not coming with you, you got to keep moving. The other thing is, for you guys that have been in a little bit longer, again, maybe business isn't where you wanted it to be, or you're feeling stuck, don't forget that this business can be a gift for people. I see a lot of people on here that know what kind of money can be made in this business. And I see people that have made a good amount of money in this business. Don't forget that this business can be a gift. Someone out there needs an extra $300 to $500 a month, and your goal might be to make $50,000 a month. But stop feeling like this business isn't an awesome opportunity because you're not making $50,000 a month and all they want is $300. So you're keeping an opportunity from people if you're not sharing it with them. You just don't know who needs it. And so you guys have to be consistently asking people and presenting the opportunity. That's our only job, to offer this to people, and you never know who it's going to help. So something I was thinking about, I think Pam posted something about this, or I saw it on one of the pages, but someone is going to sign up the next Ashley Sinclair or the next Cami Dempsey or Joel Dunn. When those people signed up, their sponsor had no idea that they were going to eventually be an ambassador or to be a Black Diamond. You guys have an opportunity. There's still people out there that are going to go ambassador in this company and that are going to go Black Diamond. I have absolutely no doubt. And there's no reason that they can't sign up on your team. Just because you're not an ambassador does not mean that you cannot sign up an ambassador or a person that's worthy of going ambassador. So again, don't let your journey with the business keep someone else from having an amazing journey with the business. Because wouldn't we all love to sign up someone that surpasses us like in the next 6 months? I'd love to sign up someone that goes ambassador before I do. That would be awesome. So I'm still on the hunt for that, and I know they're out there. So don't forget, like, you don't have to be anything spectacular. Some of these people's sponsors aren't even in the business anymore because they had no idea that the one distributor they signed was going to go off and build themselves to ambassador. So the other thing I think about, I had someone ask me today, like, how do you stay motivated to keep messaging new people? And how do you work your business every day? How do you do that? And a lot of times it's just thinking about, if I don't talk to them, they're going to join with someone else. So if I have someone on my mind or I see someone on my Facebook page, I think about what it would be like to wake up the next day and see that they joined with someone else, or to see that they joined another company. And, I guess I've just messaged enough people that the no's don't really scare me, because I know it's coming. I expect no from every single person I message. So when I get a yes, I'm really excited. So some of it's just kind of managing expectations and realizing people are going to give you an excuse. So why not go ahead and get that out of the way? Let them give you whatever excuse so that you guys can move past it. So yeah, I mean, I'm just a competitive person by nature, so that part's not hard for me. But I think for some people that makes more sense. Think about those people signing with someone else, and if you kick yourself, then that's someone you need to message like tonight. Again, don't make the decision for other people. It's just your job to share. Carolyn, do you have anything to add? I mean, I have a few other things, but
I think that's the biggest thing too for me, is like the fear of someone else signing them up. And it's not that like there's so many It Works distributors or out there. It's just that it is growing. It is an amazing opportunity. I mean, we saw it. We see it all the time. There's a reason that our business has been growing and our company has been growing so quickly. And so I think that just realizing that, I don't know. I mean, to me, that's what motivates me most of the time. And maybe some of y'all don't care about that as much, or you're like, it's fine. But I think if you feel that way, or if you think about that, like, okay, this person might sign up with someone else, and then they're going to sign up someone else that I've been thinking about. I mean, sometimes I think it's happened to me before. It was definitely a punch to the stomach. I had a girl that I'd followed up with for a long time, and I stopped following up with her. And she went and signed up with someone else. And it was discouraging, but it also made me pick myself up that I'm like, I can't stop sharing, and I can't stop following up with people. And I can't stop talking to new people as well. So, yeah.
I think,
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think the part of my business that changed is, I mean, I never stopped working my business. A lot of you guys know my story, but I wasn't really pushing the business for about 2.5, 3 years. And now that I'm on the other side of that, I kick myself for not doing more during those 3 years and thinking about the people that I could have reached had I really been active in sharing it with people. And so I think that's another thing that keeps me going. And I hope that you guys will just go so that you don't have to look back and think, man, there was, those 2 years of my business. Like, I wonder where I'd be now had I just got out of my comfort zone a little bit and asked more people. And if you go to conference or green carpet, any of those things, you hear top leaders that just say, I just ask more people and I just message more people and I message people every day. And I think we all sit there and we're like, yeah. Like, we post on Facebook too. They actually are messaging people every day. And once that finally clicked for me, I was like, how can I find people to message every day? And so I had to really brainstorm on that. How can I build relationships with people and message people every day? Like, that seems like a lot. And so something that I've done recently, and I've been doing this on Instagram and on Facebook, so whatever one you guys use more, it can work for both. But I've been forcing myself to make that list of 8 to 10 people. Just either I'll see their name when I'm going through my news feed, or I'll go to, recently added friends or whatever. I'll jot their name down. I'll go to their page. I write down 3 or 4 adjectives about that person. And and it's usually something like, really good social media, has a ton of friends, super friendly, reminds me of Carolyn, or, someone. I'll write down someone's name. Whatever. I have like a set list of 6 to 8 things that I'll choose from typically. And I'll like something or comment on something on their page that night while I'm making that list of 10. And then I don't message anyone on that list for about 24, 48 hours, but I've made sure to at least interact a little bit on their page. I've written enough down that I can personalize a message to them. I make sure I've been friends with them for more than like a week, because that's awkward if you just added them the day before. A lot of times I'll make sure we've been friends for a month or 2, which is why I'm always adding new friends. And then I'll send them a message. And I've actually, 2 of the girls I signed this month were people that I had never interacted with. And don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you guys to just spam message people and to do that. But I think there has to be a balance of messaging people before you're ready, and not being spammy. So that's what I've been doing. I've been making that list of 10 again. I usually do it at night. So I interact on at least 1 or 2 of their posts. And then a couple days later, I actually shoot them a message. So a lot of times it is people that have at least liked something that I've posted, not necessarily about the business or about the products, just anything on my page. But it doesn't have to be. I just feel like I need to have some sort of genuine reason why I'd want to work with them, or why they remind me of someone else that's already on the team. And then I go through that list. And again, I still am getting ignored and I'm still getting no's. But I've signed a couple of customers that way from people that weren't interested in the business but had heard of the products and wanted to try them. In the 1 or 2 people that were like, sure, send me more info, it was worth it to me to sit down and make that list to have 2 more good potentials. So, I know we hear it all the time. It's a numbers game. The more people you ask, the more people that'll sign up. But I also think the sooner you plant that initial seed, the sooner they'll sign up also. So sometimes just messaging them the first time is what gets them to start watching you. It doesn't get them to sign up. It doesn't get them to say yes, but it gets them to watch you a little bit closer. So if you're posting consistently and you're working hard and you're positive and they're still watching you, eventually they're going to come back and eventually they're going to sign up. And I think that part of the business is the hardest thing for people to grasp, because we can keep saying, follow up. They're going to sign eventually. They're going to do it. And I think it just goes in one ear and out the other, because people really don't believe that's how it works, but that is how it works. Most people do not sign up the first time or the second time or the third time, but you have to plant that initial seed. If you know that people aren't going to sign up the first day you talk to them and it might take a month or 2, then why are you waiting? If you want success right now, you should have messaged people a month ago. So if you want to have a really strong fall and winter and you want to get one of the really big bonuses they announce in February, then you message those people now, because that means you're going to have a really awesome October, November, December leading into conference. So leave what you haven't done through the summer. And I'm not talking to everyone, but if you feel like you're struggling right now, a lot of it is based on the work that you did 2 or 3 months ago. So look towards February and realize if you want to have one of those crazy bonuses or take advantage of the next announcement or the next 10,000 drawing thing that they do, then the work you put in now is what gets you the money later. So I think I was on a Zoom the other night and Tammy Evans said that. She was like, the people that get the, what did she say? Were you on that, Carolyn? It was something like the work, I don't know. It was such a good analogy. Now I'm going to kick myself for bringing it up because I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. And I know I've talked to you guys about this before, but like basically the work that you're putting in now, you get to reap the rewards in the spring.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, talking about the bonus.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm like, I wrote it down too, but I don't have that notebook with me right here, but it was about the bonuses and stuff and how, the bonuses aren't earned in the spring, they're earned in the fall and the winter, because that's when a lot of people take off or slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but like things are picking up right now for the first time. Like I haven't had a September like this before. Like, yes, volume is low for a lot of people, but enrollments are actually going back up, which is awesome for September, because if new DTs bring in new volume over the next couple of months, then October, November, December is going up leading up into conference. So, but again, I think a huge way to build some momentum and to build your paycheck is to get some fast start bonuses and to bring in that new volume and to have new people to focus on, because that makes a huge difference, is just having new blood and new people that are excited to get this going. Because a lot of times we start getting dragged down in the fall by the people that we're just trying to, come on, just keep going, just, you can do it. Sometimes you just need some new fresh excitement. And so I would encourage you guys to force yourself to make a list of 8 to 10. Like tonight, don't put it off. Before you go to bed, make a list of 8 to 10. As you're writing down adjectives of why that person would be good or why you'd want to work with them, interact a little bit on their page. And then on Friday, message those people. Who knows? You could message people Friday morning and they could be ready to go and you could get your entry into the drawing. So I would do that tonight so that you still have tomorrow to kind of formulate your message or think about it so you can message them all on Friday. Or if you're feeling brave, do it tomorrow. But you don't have to want to be a top recruiter to do well in this business, but you want to be able to get into a consistent cycle of signing people up. Even if that's 2 or 3 a month, that's going to take follow-up, and it's going to take always building new relationships and sending out new messages. So that's kind of all I had. I'm happy to, something that's been helping a lot of people is just me walking through a couple of conversations with people that say, sure, send me more info. I've been walking people through what I would say and what I normally say a couple of times. And not that I'm perfect by any means. I still have a ton of people that, they don't end up signing up, but it might help some of you figure out your own little way of doing things and messages that seem to work best for you. I'm more than happy to share that with Carolyn to pass on, or you guys can always reach out to me and ask. But I think that's made a huge difference for people, because we tend to overcomplicate things and send too much info or not send enough. So I kind of stick to the same thing no matter who I'm talking to. I try to control the conversation. So I'm more than happy to kind of walk you guys through that a few times.
One of the things that Elissa and I talked about when I saw her in Houston was I felt like my conversations or my messages became so simple and like short that I felt like I was kind of taking away some good things on my initial messages, like talking about, what the business has done for me, maybe a little bit about the heart of the company, because it seems like those messages I felt like I got a little bit more response at least. And so I think that's one of the things. Now, some of you guys probably need to go the opposite. You send way too much information. But I feel like we kind of like compacted the messages so much that, we like said, hey, say this, but add things to it. But people aren't adding things to it. They're just sending the couple sentences and that's it. And I do feel like a lot of times when people want more information, it's because they've seen something different about It Works that I shared with them. Or just maybe like for us, a lot of people love Dave Ramsey and Debt Free. And so I've definitely got a lot of responses from people saying, I love Dave Ramsey. I want more info. Like that's what set them off. And I'm glad I took time to like mention that. Or the giving back. And just like thinking about those little things that now some people you might not know so well. So maybe you don't know if that would even affect them by saying that. But taking time to just like add more things, I think, in those messages, those initial messages have been good. And I felt like I kind of went the opposite and started doing like less. And I feel like me now going back and adding in those things more has been good. And then the also initial, like the excuse thing, like I just had one just like today, basically responded and said, hey, I'd love to make more extra income, but here are all the reasons why it won't work for me. And so I responded back. Like I could have easily said, no, okay, sounds good. Sorry you're so busy. Like life's crazy. See you later. But I like went back and I didn't know how to say exactly, but I was like, I'm going to just knock off all of these excuses that she just gave me. And then invite her to the event on Thursday. So I basically like told her, okay, like obviously like I know you're super busy, you know, all these different things. But I was like, I know this probably isn't the best time for you, but I know that you would love to make extra income.'s having an event on Thursday. Could you at least get on? Maybe you'll win something. And she's like, okay. And I thought like that was it. Like I was like, she's probably not going to message me back, but I'm glad I took time to like really respond to all those excuses and was just genuine at the end. And guess what? She's going to get on the party tomorrow. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm glad that I took time and said, okay, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you're busy. See ya, you know.
A lot of times when you just tell them why they can do it despite their excuses, they're not going to just turn around and be like, okay, you're right. Like I can be less busy and I'll sign up. It's not that. Like you're just telling them, I know that you can do this despite your excuse and you can now think about it. Like, and then those people do eventually, you know, they keep thinking about it. They keep watching you. They keep thinking, what if she's right? Like, what if I could do this and what if it's okay that I'm busy? Or what if it's okay that, you know, I have a full-time job? Like maybe she's right. And they'll keep thinking about it. They'll keep thinking about it. So that's why you kind of have to deal with their excuse. It's just so that they'll keep thinking about it and not totally write it off. Because if you just say, okay, let me know, you know, something changes, they're not going to ever think about it again. So, one last thing I'll leave you with, because this has been something that's been really good for my business and made me feel a lot less crazy and more organized, is I mentioned this earlier, but I try to control the conversation because I have a set like list of things that I like to share with people once they say, sure, you can send me more info. Basically, no matter what they say to that, I send the same thing. And I'm going to ask them a question. No matter what they say to that, the next part of my conversation is going to be this. And then, because if you guys are anything like me, the reason that I don't like messaging new people, or that it's hard for me to like get motivated to message new people, is not because I'm scared of them saying no. It's actually just because I'm like, this could be like an hour-long conversation, and then I'm going to have to follow up with them for like 2 months before they sign up. Like in my brain, it's just so overwhelming to message someone new because I'm like, they're going to have all these questions, and then I'm going to have to follow up with them, and then they're not going to have the money. And then, so like, I just like keep myself from actually sending the initial message because I feel like it might be this long process. But once I kind of figured out a simple like messaging system that worked for me. And again, I don't copy and paste everything exactly, but I know my first message is always going to be about, you know, we have products for anyone 18 to 100 years old. We have skincare. We have this. I wanted to try the products anyway. So for me, it just made more sense to become a distributor. And then I asked them a question. And then I know the next message is always going to be about, you know, the company pays us to promote the products rather than spending money on TV and radio advertising. I work most of my business from my phone, and then I ask them another question. No matter how the conversation goes or what they say, I always go into the next part of my conversation that I like to send. And I can send those to Carolyn so she can send them to you guys, but I really do stick to that same process until the very end, depending on what their hesitation or question is. And that's made my like brain so happy because I am not like trying to overcomplicate it. I'm not trying every time formulating a brand new message. I'm taking the same group of messages over and over and just changing it to fit that person. So my first message is very personal, and then everything after that is kind of cookie cutter and then just edited to change their personality or edited to change their excuse or whatever. And then I have the exact same message when they're ready to sign up. I have the same message that I send them. And again, it's just been so nice for my brain to do that. And it's been way easier for me to reach out to people for the first time because I already have a plan for what I'm going to say from then on out. So that's the end. That's all I've got. I want to see some more people get an entry for the $10,000 drawing. So that means follow up and message like crazy tonight and tomorrow. So that way you have Friday, which is payday for a lot of people, to hopefully seal the deal. Got it?